So I did something similar. I just told I built up that belief and you can do it type of thing. And now in my group, we are, I'm sharing my goals, but not Success Club, not rank, not any of that. I'm saying this is the number of people that I'm going to add as friends today. This is the number, and I'm making it big and telling them that it makes me want to puke, that it's so scary and hard. And so they're kind of saying, oh, now I feel like I can do that. I'm going to set big, scary goals. So we're just sharing so I asked them, what actions are you taking today? Not what is your Success Club goal or anything like that. We control the controllable. So that's working at this moment.
I really like that focus on actions. I think that's something I want to make sure we bring out because, yes, Team Cup, it is a points game, but I think it also gives the opportunity for people to develop new habits. Maybe whereas they were uncomfortable in one area, now they can become more comfortable. And so actions, if you set goals around actions, I think that can also drive good behaviors that last beyond the month of August. Has anybody else done that and hopefully seen good results where you don't focus necessarily on numbers, but you focus on actions?
I've actually been doing that lately. And I've just been told exactly what you just said. I really haven't focused on numbers at all. And it's been great. My coaches have been doing great. I have 2 people that went Emerald today. It just has been different than me, always numbers, which is what was last year. And this year it's okay, let's do same exact thing. How many people are you friending today? How many invites are you sending out today? Let's put a goal for how many people we're going to reach in the UK, how many invites you're going to send out to that, and start creating relationships for that. Let's work on that 20 minutes a day. Can everybody commit to that? And it's really changing. And Kevin, you know how much I've struggled. It's great. So was that Danielle that just said that? Yeah, Danielle, that's exactly, I really agree with that 100%. So
good.
I feel when you throw numbers at people and ask them their numbered goals, it's really hard. But when you throw actions at them, it makes a difference. They're oh, I could do that. I could friend people.
I think it becomes more accomplishable in their mind, even though it really doesn't matter. In the end, it comes down to, you are doing better point wise, but to them, there's this mental idea shift of, okay, right. I think I can do these actions.
Right. Because in the beginning, they don't know how to process how to get those points. They don't know how to process what. I have a brand new coach. She just signed up the other day and she's I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm don't worry about that. Just do this. Just, share this on your page. Let's talk about what post you're going to put up, let's not even worry about what points you're going to get, and calming them down and giving them actions to do drives them, and it's changing for real. Good. It's great.
so I have 2 more things I want to go over. One of them is what do you guys maybe, and I would love for you guys to share, I think a lot of us, if you could share, maybe even if you think it's not the best ever, but what are you guys doing to ensure that excitement, energy levels, motivation, inspiration stays high throughout the month? How are you guys making this fun, Team Cup, so that it isn't just get on a team and then come, I don't know, the 15th, 16th of the month, they've died down. Anybody want to share what they're doing this time around to keep things alive?
I can share and I used to, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but for me, when I hit over 2-star, I started to break away more from my central team, my supportive team, and do more on my own. And to be honest, it became very overwhelming for me, and I stopped focusing on the vital behaviors of recruiting for myself and doing way too much for my team. So for this year, I decided, hell with that, because I lost a lot of those people that I was putting all this focus into in driving separately. So I've kind of come back. So for this cup, we're back with my bigger upline team. We have a separate group page just for cup. And so where, each of the leaders are fueling information in that group and just kind of psyching people up every day. And we just did, I don't know, probably somebody grabbed this, but it was 100 no's. And so I'm doing it So I already got to 5, which means I must be inviting a lot. And these are like not ignores. These are like, no, I'm not interested. And trying to make it fun. Like, okay, that's the goal. Like, who's gonna be the first? Who's gonna get to 100? And so just doing that kind of stuff, making it fun and sharing like different ideas, sharing everybody's best invite for the day, stuff like that.
Great ideas. And I do like that idea of having a separate group. I know there's everybody's part of a zillion groups, but this is, like I said, I really like the 5-person thing. It really makes it intimate. It really makes this, you can't hide. And you do have to step up, but you can. I think if you address the elephant in the room of, guys, I don't want to be the one that drags this team down, then other people are like, well, I thought that was me. I want to make sure I'm not the one. If you bring it out in the open and then you start brainstorming ideas of what we can do to make this a successful, fun, engaging, get to know each other month, then who cares what the end number is? It's what are you going to learn and how are you going to grow throughout this entire month? And that brings me to my last point of, I think it's a healthy practice to almost say, I know today's August 3rd, but let's pretend it's August 31st. If you were to look back on the month, how did you grow as an individual? How did you grow as a leader? How did your business grow? In what areas did you become more, did you strengthen? Did you become more comfortable? And have them talk out things like, well, if I could look back on the month, here's how I improved as a Beachbody coach. And then once again, you set those goals with them based on what they said. And you kind of just reverse engineer, backtrack their way to where they are today. And they start putting together actionable items of what they can start doing today that gets them so that on August 1st, 31st, they can look back and say, yep, I can see a measurable growth in me. And you can do that with your leaders, and they can go do that with their teams. But this is such an incredible, important, vital month for so many people, and it can be a month where people grow. So, okay. Any final thoughts with Team Cup? Anybody else want to share any other fun things that they're doing that we missed? Okay. All right. So let's then jump on to the topic of today. This has everything to do with best practices with social media. Now, the reason I'm thrilled we're doing this post-summit because I feel like at Summit, a lot of us received information that, leaning maybe more on Shalene's presentation of we have got to stop being white noise. And if you are, in thinking back, if you are preaching the same thing that you were preaching back in 2014, 2015, things have changed. While you still may get some response, things are evolving so quickly that we need to stay ahead of the game. And maybe the post that worked back then isn't working today. And so I want to go over a few things, but I want to make sure we go over the topics you guys are aware of. So maybe we can get your guys' response to Shalene's presentation, and maybe some things that you guys have changed as far as social media goes. And maybe you're noticing, look, my ads, I just got off the call with a coach. She says my ads aren't getting the same response. And so she needs to change things up. So let's dive into that. Things you guys have seen, maybe some changes you have made, things that are continuing to work with different platforms. What are you guys' thoughts?
I can start if you want. So when I started 3.5 years ago, I really built my business in mom groups. I used the same post every time. I would go in on a Friday night or Saturday night around 9:00 and do a short paragraph of my story with my before and after picture. And I used to get so much attention. It was like insane the amount of people that would respond to it. And if I did that now, it would probably not even get one like. So it's so saturated, especially like where I'm from, Long Island. There's so many coaches now that have done that method that it's just annoying, I think, when people are like, people see that, they're like, all right, enough already, you know? I mean, so anyway, so what I did last year was I signed up for the Jesse Regan training. I'm guessing you guys know who he is, but if you don't, he is an expert at like pages, and he's specifically an expert on with Beachbody coaches and how to grow your like page as a Beachbody coach. And so I did make the investment of $300 last spring, and it has completely changed everything for my business. I have over 28,000 followers, and every single day I have new people liking my page and following me. And so it's really simple for me to just, like, part of my daily routine is to reach out to each person who's liked my page and thank them for liking it. And then I just say, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for liking my page. Are you into health and fitness too? And like, it usually turns, most of the time, it turns into them, because my ad is, well, my whole thing is being a mom. So I mostly attract moms. And so it's usually talks about them just having a baby, and then I get them into my free group. So the whole like funnel thing starts from that. So I highly, highly, highly recommend joining his group. It's $300, and it's like the best $300 I've ever spent. Once you're in it forever. And he updates you. Like, every time Facebook does an update or something changes, he's on it. So he's just like a teacher that's constantly telling you like how things are changing, shifting, and how you should change your ads. And it's great. That's what I follow, and it's been working for me.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, I know maybe this is I don't know if there's an answer you can give, but if you were to narrow it down to 1 to 2 things that noticeable things that you did different that you got big results, what would those be?
So I don't post like to sell anymore. I post just my life. Like, I post value. I post, I don't ever really speak about Beachbody ever. Just like Shalene said, like, I don't talk about it. I just post tips, tricks, mommy stuff, like stuff that's about me that I love and that I can relate to, and the other moms, like my target audience, relate to. That's what I fill my page with. Like, when little things like this happen and it's distracted, you know, like I do that. So like, I always ask myself whenever one second, babe. Whenever I put something up, I always ask myself the so what question. So it has to have value. Like, will somebody care? You know, like, I would never just put up a picture of my kids and be like, oh, look how cute they are. You know, like, there has to be a reason behind it, why I'm putting it up, talking about like how they won't eat dinner and what I can make them to eat dinner and blah, 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 whatever. So I've really changed from, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? I only have 5 spaces left, to me just working out and showing my results and just being me. I just be me. Like, I feel like my job is to just wake up and show people what I do to better myself every day.
Okay. That's great.
And how I get through the day with 4 kids. And then people relate, and it's crazy. People message me and they like know everything about me. I'm like, wow, they really listen. You're hungry? Okay.
So that was, Crystal, you asked. Yeah, that's the Jesse Regan training, and that's what we're talking about. So I like that. I think that's exactly where the trend is heading. It comes down to value. You guys heard Shalene talk about this, and I watched the post follow-up training that she did, where she talked a little bit more in depth of this curiosity marketing versus attraction marketing. She goes, it doesn't come down to likes anymore. It doesn't come down to that it comes down to questions that they ask. That's the value of the post. That's how we know if our page, our posts are being successful, is because people ask questions. And if all we're doing is simply putting everything out there, and they don't need to ask questions, then we're not getting what we want. The post has lost, or the page has lost its value because you've given everything to them. So we have to leave gaps. We have to leave certain key points out of our post. Has anybody tried and seen similar response to that? And are you getting more questions that lead to more successful sales rather than likes? Is anybody seeing that?
I have
a lot more. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go.
Okay. I'm getting a lot more comments on my like page, a lot, which is good. The comments are up, so they're, asking questions, they're engaging more. The engagement is definitely up. I also do the Jesse Regan I started last year too. And if it wasn't for that training, I wouldn't have a like page or a business, because expanding your network has to be
Okay.
one.
Okay, good. Crystal.
I did. So when we got home from Summit, we all have the daily sunshine. And if I didn't hear Shailene's, Johnson's probably have both my kids like holding up the daily sunshine thing, but I didn't. I took a picture of them just drinking their shakes in just regular sippy cups. And I just put, that it's a new shake that came out specifically designed for kids. And I put, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, whatever, and just did that. And if anybody was interested in hearing more about it, just, comment below. And I got like 50 comments. And somebody actually posted, I guess, went on Google and like searched it and then like posted Daily Sunshine in that, because I didn't answer in there. I was like, I'm just going to send you a message. So I ended up like deleting that because I was like, no, they're all going to see it. So I deleted it and I answered, I took each person and I messaged them. And I had like 5 or 6 people order like the sampler. So that was good because it was just people posting the questions like, what is it? Can I learn more info? Instead of me just giving them the information, they would have just went and looked and Googled it and probably bought it like off the Beachbody website. So totally helped.
That's exactly what we're referring to.
Yeah.
I think the example Shalene gives is lipstick. I love this lipstick. It stays on for as long as I need to, unless I forcibly take it off. And then she dives into her content and just leaves it at that. And she says, I get questions all the time. What brand is it? What color is it? And do you have a place where I can go purchase it? And all she did was just drop little hints and left out a few key things. And then that's what got people to come out of the woodworks. Otherwise, she said, had I just posted, I love this lipstick, here's what it is, here's where you can go buy it, then I've lost. That was a wasted post, because now these people can go Google it and go purchase it from somewhere else, maybe cheaper, and that's not building value in the brand.
Also, I think like it doesn't like just like with lipstick, like use that. Like it doesn't have to be just about Beachbody and a product of Beachbody. Like if you, I don't know, let's say you wearing something and you're like, oh, I love these leggings. These are my favorite leggings. I can't live without them. Like it still gets people interested, talking to you, starting conversations. Now they notice you more. They're commenting on your stuff. Your stuff is going to go into more of their newsfeed. So whenever you put up tips and tricks or something you find that's great that someone might love that has absolutely nothing to do with Beachbody, I think that's important too, to just like lipstick. If you that exact post would be so good for interaction, and then people will remember your name, and then they will see your post about, drinking this awesome shake or whatever. And then they're going to be more curious too, because they already spoke to you about the lipstick, so I really try to find as many things as I can, like tips on anything that's out there that I think is great. Like I put up a post about something that helps me scrunch my hair. Everybody wants to know what it is because their hair isn't curly, blah, blah, blah. And they ask questions and then we become friends. And then I can friend them on Facebook and it's not weird anymore, because we've already had conversations. So it doesn't have to just be, doing this new program. It's so awesome, blah, blah, blah. And you're talking about Shift Shop, but it could be about your favorite eyeliner, like, and just to start making connections.
Good.
So
Good. Okay, let me switch gears just a little bit and talk about the different platforms, the social media platforms, and which ones work best for you, and maybe where the trend is heading. Because like I said, I watched Celine's training afterwards, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, but what she was saying is that the best way as far as acquiring new interest, it comes down to Instagram and Snapchat. And I don't know if you guys have found similar results with that, specifically Instagram stories. She said that is one of the best things that she uses to gather people to watch, because they know they're short. They know that it's concise, and people will continue to watch more about that. They'll just continue to swipe, or they'll continue to watch more if it's on Snapchat of your stories, of these short little clips. And then always, once again, leaving the right hashtags, as well as doing the curiosity marketing that gets people to move eventually over to the Facebook like page or the blog or whatever, where they can add value. Has anybody seen success with either Instagram or Snapchat in acquiring new people?
I just started, so I really hate Snapchat. This is Jillian. Like, I'm going to be totally transparent. I tried it, and it just wasn't my jam. I have to like what I'm doing in order to be good at it, I feel like. So I started Instagram stories, and I really like them. And one of my goals for the end of July, I think I can't remember who said, like, they stated like how many people they were going to add. Like, one of my goals for July that I told my team was to have 10 Instagram stories a day. And I do get a ton of views on them, and I feel like it's really helping. And for whatever reason, I like it a lot better than Snapchat. It's just, I find maybe it's because I already knew Instagram, so I find the platform easier to use. But I've been pretty consistent with my 10 stories, and I'll get a lot of questions. Like, I'll post my shake or whatever, and I'll be like, I don't know, like superfoods in a glass, and someone will send me a message, and it's cool. I didn't really dive that far into Snapchat, but it's cool because it comes right into my direct messages, and I can see what they're replying to. So I find it much easier to use, and then I can start a conversation. I hired someone to help me with Facebook ads, and it's not going well. So I think I'm going to end up investing in the Jessie training. I just was worried about my time since I'm giving birth like very shortly. And so I thought, if I can just hire someone, I'll be better off. But I think I'm going to end up doing the Jessie training. So that was a good suggestion too. But I still like Facebook. I know that, Shalene, like, I still get a lot of traction off of it. As long as you're not being spammy, I think that you can still do okay on the platform. That's just my opinion.
And I think we agree. I don't think Facebook's necessarily going away. It's as strong as ever. But the point I think that she was drawing was we can't get stuck in one avenue. I think we do need to expand. If we are looking to expand, the world, the nation is moving towards these quick things, and we need to, if we're not versed in it, we need to become, whether we use it or not, because at some point things have to change. Just maybe an obvious example is when Beachbody first started out, it was not an online social media company. It was just like every other network company, where they would hold opportunity meetings in houses, and it was social media was not used. And then it started, and the old guard who found a lot of success through their opportunity meetings and face-to-face contact, stuck with that, and everybody else moved on and continued to do social media and became extremely successful. And these people who didn't want to embrace that, they lost out. And that's just, they're like, no, that's just not my thing. It's not what I do. But that's just where the trend was headed. And so I'm not saying go do this, but I am suggesting that we continue to maintain flexibility, trying new things. If we aren't versed in certain social media aspects, become versed. That's where your personal development should be involved in, because that's, whether we like it or not, when trends start happening, we got to be on top of that, and so we can maximize the freshness of it, and we stop being that white noise that exists out there. Anybody else has found success with anything besides Facebook, either with Instagram or Snapchat, that would like to share? What about hashtags? One of the things that Kim Carver goes over in his training on expanding your network is choosing the right hashtag, because maybe they don't mean as much in Facebook, but on Instagram, that's how you attract and find a lot of people, to the point where you have to find the one where it's not overly saturated, where you look at it and it has like 100 or a million users, people who do that. You don't want the ones too little, where underneath 5,000, where nobody can see it. Has anybody experimented with that and has found success using the right hashtags? Not yet. Looks like you guys.
I've experimented with it, but I have not found the right hashtags.
Okay, I recommend.
I've never had luck on Instagram. So I always just, how they say like master one before you move on to another. So I just really have been trying to master Facebook like page, before I move on to that. But I've tried so many hashtags, but I do look and I see, like what some of the top coaches use, or like, I know, like there's certain coaches that are Instagram people, like that's where they follow. You find other people like Jen Richardson is like an expert at Instagram. And so I've looked at hers to see what she does, like how does it. And she when she posts, anything, it doesn't matter what she's actually doing. She uses like the same hashtags that she always uses. Like it's always the same, like boy mom or stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be like that the boys are in the picture. So I don't know. There's something about that. You got to find the ones that fit for you, but I don't really get it. I have tried.
So I don't know if you've seen Jen's trainings. Jen's like a couple up in my upline. Basically I did her exercise and it's been super helpful for me. So the essential gist of it is you take 5 things that you like about you, or that are about you that like have nothing to do with health and fitness, right? And so mine were like, I'm pregnant, I'm a trauma survivor, I'm a dog mom. I think I did do a health one and something else. But you start to Google those things and you Google the best hashtags, and then you come up with 2 lists of 30 hashtags, and you alternate those hashtags between, like, one picture would be your first list, the next picture would be your second list, then back to your first list, then back to your second list. So your hashtags have nothing to do with what you're actually posting, but it's bringing in the people. I can post her training in our group when we're done, but it is really good, and I have talked to her about it a lot. And my coaches are like, why would I hashtag, boy mom if my boy isn't in the picture? I'm like, that's exactly the point, because you want other boy moms to look at your picture of, whatever it is you're doing. So that was kind of it. Does that make sense, Lindsay? Better sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if you can post that training, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's alive, so I'll download it, and then I'll repost it.
Okay.
So I can also say too, I did Shilling Johnson's Instagram training. So I spend most of my time, instead of worrying about my hashtags, but I am going to do that training when you post it. Instead of worrying about my hashtags, I look for hashtags and build relationships with people that are liking things that I like, my reality TV shows, other dogs, stuff like that. So I focus more on their hashtags rather than my own. And then kind of back to Facebook, just so I can share a couple 2 cents. I have found it helpful for me recently to be more real. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I share more now about how I hate eating healthy. I don't really love to work out. And I'm attracting people that are just like me, who now are saying, well, if you don't love that either, but you can get healthy, then I guess I can probably do it too. And that's where I'm finding most of my people now. So I'm now training my team too to say, hey, just be yourself and be honest. Like, if you don't love healthy food, like, don't act like you do, because no, it's not really that great. I'd rather have McDonald's. So so those are just a couple things that are working for me.
Yeah, I think the more real you are, the more you show of yourself, like the real deal, like don't hold anything back, like that's when people like want to join you. Like the other night I was making, cause I'm away at my family's ranch, and I was making Swedish meatballs. It's like a tradition. And I was like, God damn, you don't know how bad I want these meatballs. Like, but I'm going to make these other ones separate from all the like sweet, basically take the Swedish out of the meatballs. And this sucks, but I'm following this meal plan and I'm not giving in, you know? And like, I have so many people like messaging me for my meatball recipe for like the clean eating one. And like, they're like, that's so great that you did that. And just like attention, because I'm like talking like really like, I'm not just standing there being like, oh, these people are going to eat these and I'm eating these and I'm super happy about it. Like, I'm like, this sucks ass, you know? And they're like, yeah, it does, but you're awesome for pushing through and following, you know, the meal plan. So the more real you are, like, it's really what attracts people.
I 100% agree with that. I think you think about the people who you follow, the people who, whether for business, for pleasure, for entertainment, whatever it may be, and ask yourself, so why is it? What are they doing? And I can guarantee it's because they're probably being themselves, and they're not just being white noise. Going back to what you guys are talking about. Okay, we are out of time, guys. I want to be sensitive to your guys' schedules. Great conversation. Thank you so much for everything you guys have shared. Please continue to share. If you find tips or videos or whatever online, please continue to share those in our Facebook group. That's, once again, that's value. That's what we're looking for, is value added. So don't just hold it to yourself. Let's share it with everybody else. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for all that you guys do. Yep.
Thank
Thank you.